Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Trasher Football. We have probably the biggest video in channel history. We have the Bordeaux. Bordeaux, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you for having me on.
This is an honor. I really do want to say I really appreciate the opportunity of you coming onto the channel, because you really didn't have to take time out of your day to do a small little interview-esque video to talk about the College Football 25 game and maybe a little bit about you.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. I love talking about the game.
So first, I do just want to know what got you into YouTube as a whole.
I was bored. I got cheated on, and I was like, you know what? I'll make some videos. And then it ended up just turning into a whole thing.
Have you kind of taken a moment to take it all in?
I think it's starting to hit me how big things have gotten just by what I'm noticing with the new game coming out. It was definitely a journey for me. I started for like a year, took a break in college because I had a roommate. I was sharing a room. I didn't want to record in the same room as him. Then once I got cheated on, got back into YouTube. And then for like the last 2 years, I've just been pushing out so many constant videos that every time, like once a month when I'm outside, someone will recognize me, and that just throws me off completely. That's probably the level it's gotten to. It's nothing crazy yet, but I'm just super thankful for all of it, you know?
Well, you've been doing a wonderful job. So, how does it feel being an inspiration to smaller YouTubers such as myself, King Sponge, Tan Man, and many, many more?
Dude, I was in that position, and I would love to just help in any way I can, of course, at all times, because, I mean, with Tan Man, I've done videos with him. I almost wanted to do another video with him before the game dropped. Like, it's just nice to be able to share ideas. I don't like to even think of people as smaller YouTubers at all. There's a lot of things I've had to learn over the last 2 years that I want to be able to share, so you don't have to go through the same struggles. Because I feel like when somebody's doing well in content in that same space, everybody can eat. You're going to get different types of audiences that enjoy different things. Might as well not gatekeep too much.
What was your first memory playing NCAA football video games?
My dad whooping my butt. I don't know if I can cuss on here, but...
No, you can.
All right, yeah, you whooped my ass over and over and over.
That's how I was. I remember when I got into it, I played against my old stepdad, and I played on one button mode because I was so awful at the regular version.
Ooh, that's
And
tough.
he would drop hundreds and hundreds of points every game. So
Wow, how do you recover from that?
I don't know if I ever did, but
That's
what was
nuts.
it like being in Orlando, being able to play the game before anyone else?
That was probably, going back to your question from earlier, that's I think when it hit me the most of, oh shoot, maybe I have made it a little bit. Why am I in a room with all these people that I consider to be way more important than myself? I'm like, what am I doing here? Why do I get to see the game early? It was just surreal almost. And just getting the hands on the game for the first time and seeing how good it was the best feeling. Because I was worried.
When you were starting off doing YouTube, who did you look up to?
I'd say I probably looked up to, I don't even know if I want to say anyone specific, really. I've always just watched YouTube, but it's always based on whoever's in my recommended. I don't even watch sports gaming videos at all, which is kind of weird for being in this space. But no one really rings a bell for like one specific YouTuber, which is kind of odd.
It just kind of clumps together in your brain of multiple different YouTubers?
Yeah, probably some FIFA YouTubers, if anything. Maybe the Sidemen, but I don't watch sports videos that much. So I can't say there's like any sports gamers that really looked up to, in a sense.
I know that you and so many other people have shut down this rumor, but can you officially shut up the Madden Reskin accusations for this video game officially right here?
I mean, if it's still going around, those people just want to hate on the game. It is not a Madden Reskin. There's nothing... There might be some similarities. I'm not going to go on a limb and say that, but they play completely different. When I was in Orlando, I got to play both Madden 25 and the new college game. One of them plays a lot faster and is a lot more fun. I love you, EA. I didn't say anything.
Or in my opinion, the best content on your channel is your rebuilds. Which rebuild was your favorite one to do?
They feel like a blur. I'm not going to lie. I've probably done like 70 or 80 on college football now, and it's almost a blur. If anything, Grand Rapids was probably my favorite, just because that was an in-depth series. I got to test out a new idea, and it worked. But that'd probably be my favorite, if anything.
Well, speaking of Grand Rapids, recently we saw the top 25 toughest places to play. Where would you rank Grand Rapids on the toughest places to play?
those last seasons, you weren't getting a win at Hulu Field, sponsored by Bordeaux. I don't even remember what we called it, but it'd be up there in the top 5 for sure.
So when you had the opportunity to play the College Football 25 video game, what small little details caught your eye that others didn't seem to catch?
I'd say, if anything, what caught my attention the most was just the fans and like the clips after the plays of seeing yourself in that environment. Like you felt like you were really there, especially with the audio. That, if anything, stood out to me the most just because I wanted it to feel that realistic. And seeing the B-roll that EA had on NCAA Football 14 compared to what they have on this new game where you have you seen the display at all?
Yeah, I saw a little bit of like the play call screen where they had the
Yeah.
picture-in-picture stuff.
You should pop up a picture of the play call screen right here. Because in the top left corner, you have just footage of people, depending on if you have a touchdown, they're excited, throw an interception, they're upset, with fans, coaches, players. The right side, you have a bunch of different statistics. They'll just switch through all of it. Wear and tear shows up there, and then the play calling below. But that whole menu looks so good, and it's very refreshing. I think that's probably the biggest thing that would stand out to me.
So when you play the game between the two different commentary teams, could you
Mm-hmm.
tell that like a major difference between such a small game if you were playing, for instance, Sam Houston State and Kennesaw State, or if you did Alabama and Auburn in the Iron Bowl?
So we didn't get to play that many games, and to be honest, our headsets half the time weren't even working. So outside of listening to the presentation going into most of them, I didn't have much audio, and I don't listen to commentary when I play anyway. I wanted to talk to the person next to me that I'm playing with. So after hearing all the crowd noise and stuff for a bit, I couldn't tell you a difference because I didn't really hear both commentary teams. I'm pretty sure I just loaded into every game with a certain set, but I don't listen to commentary at all. I'm the wrong person to ask for that.
Well, did you get a chance to play with your Kentucky Wildcats?
I did.
How did it feel?
They're going to be so OP and online, and that's all I'm going to say because of Barry and Brown, that quick man.
Uh-oh. All of you people might play against Bordeaux in an online matchup. Be ready for that.
I'm using Kentucky. I don't care if we don't get defensive stops. I'm using Kentucky.
What was the major difference that you saw between NCAA 14 and College Football 25?
Probably the smoothness of it all. It just all... I almost want to say they took NCAA Football 14 as a foundation and built off of it, even though they didn't really do that. But that's what it felt like almost. The gameplay and presentation in every aspect is an upgrade. It is so much more detailed, so much more realistic. And every time I play the gameplay, and then I come back to playing College Football Revamped, I'm sad.
What was it like playing with the wear and tear system? How often was it that somebody would get injured? Because I know the EA has had to say it's not players get injured more often, but it's kind of more... Can you better explain it than I can?
It wasn't very noticeable for any of the games I played in. If anything, I guess if you're looking for it, maybe your quarterback takes a hit to his right arm and his throw power, throw accuracy goes down a couple stats. But unless you're taking... I think it'll have a bigger impact in Road to Glory and Dynasty, if anything. For Play Now, at least, it wouldn't.
We saw the clip today in the presentation for Sights and Sounds for the Mamba Clip, where they had Penn State and Michigan, where the false... Was it a false start or delay a game?
Delay game.
Does the center not actually hear the quarterback, or did they just kind of try to recreate that? Or is that like an actual thing they're implementing because of the crowd noise?
From experience when playing at Penn State, you're still going to have the Mobamba clip, whether or not you get the delay game or not.
Okay.
You're going to hear it blasting on that first play of the game.
Every time?
They have that built in. I don't know if it's every time. But whenever it's Michigan against Penn State, it is blasting on that first play.
What was your favorite aspect as a whole for this entire video game?
I'd say, at least for now, because all we have is the gameplay and presentation stuff out. So we'll stick with the presentation side of things. I really like the intros. They're so unique for each team. And you almost feel like the hype going into kickoff. I don't know. That was just there's so many different things that stick out to me.
All right, and last but not least, is there any info that you might want to let any of the fans know that they should know, either about you or the video game?
Just for a couple things I've seen, like you mentioned the Mamba Clip. Someone left a comment on something I posted about it'd be cool if you can hype up the crowd, and you can do that in the game. You used to be able to do that in old NCAA football games. You will see your players sitting there hyping up the crowd, and they'll also in turn and face the crowd. Um, and then you'll see the meter rise for home field advantage. I thought that's a really cool feature.
Did the student section seem to be louder the closer you got to it?
I see. There's a lot of like tiny details like that I would never even think of to look for. That's probably been the hardest part of getting the look. And then a month later, I'm sitting here trying to think about. I have no idea. I'm not gonna lie and say I do.
Well, we're gonna
I
find out in
couldn't tell
3
you.
weeks.
Yeah, you're gonna find out in 3 weeks anyway. There's just a very close attention to detail. Like they've also mentioned in the gameplay trailers, if you audible a play, your players are going to look over to the sideline where your coaches are and see what the audible is. They're not just going to automatically change. They're going to have a brief moment where they turn and look over to that sideline.
All right, and I know I said last but not least, but I kind of forgot this question. What content are you going to make for the College Football 25 game? Any more rebuilds? Because I know that you have a whole list of teams that you're slowly eliminating one by one. Of what
Hmm.
rebuild are you going to first do? What teams that you really want to do that are still left on that list?
There's a lot of them still on that list. I have no idea to this day who I'm going to do for my first rebuild. From a content perspective, I'm pretty much going to do everything I've done in the past with innovation here and there. Um, so a bunch of imperialism stuff, tournaments, rebuilds, a team builder series, Road to Glory. Just going to take that all, plop it into the new game. But for the actual rebuild that's first, people are just going to have to wait and see. I can't believe how much hype it's gotten. I didn't think people cared.
All right, well, I really appreciate you coming on today for this short little interview video. It really means a lot, and I know the fans really appreciate it. The whole community as a whole is very big fans of you, and they've been asking for a video between us two for months now.
Yeah. No, dude, I appreciate you having me on here. I'm always going to say yes to stuff like that. It's a cool little opportunity. And to be honest, I am not great with questions, so I hope I did a decent job.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching today's video. Make sure you hit the like and the subscribe button and hit that little notification bell because I promise you won't regret it. Bordeaux, is there any last thing you want to say before we go?
Just have fun playing the new game. It's going to be a blast.
All right, hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys later.